your brain is lying to you. You might not actually be comfortable because you're in a good place. You might just be comfortable because you're used to the place that you are. Hear me out. I was reading in this book again, 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Wiest, which is amazing. I will link it below if you want to get it because it's short chapters, it's digestible material, and it is just, there's something good in pretty much every chapter. So I want to share a couple of thoughts from essay number 34. You don't want what you want what you've known. I am dealing with that right now. I feel stuck in a certain situation, and there is a way that I could get out of it, but that would be with doing something new, and I don't want to do something new because I'm comfortable with what I've known, even though what I've known is not pleasant for me right now. It's so pathetic when I actually stop and think about it that way, but that's what's happening. Ugh. Our brains get so used to what we've known, and I've talked about this before with like the emotional thresholds of like, you're used to experiencing a certain level of happiness, and if you experience more happiness than that, even though it is good for you, your brain is like, ooh, I'm not used to this, let's bring it back down. And you'll end up self-sabotaging these positive behaviors and positive experiences because you're like, I'm not comfortable with this, I'm not used to this. So you'll bring yourself back to your baseline, whatever your baseline is. And that's a very fascinating thing to think about. Because even if it's a positive experience, even if it's a good thing, it'll be uncomfortable for a while until your brain gets used to that being your new normal. And also, you can kind of twist it another direction and be like, if you're constantly in pursuit of something that makes you feel better, there's a finite amount of better things that you can get. So you'll never actually reach that goal because you'll just keep bumping it higher and higher and higher. So being content is actually a huge life hack. But anyways, that's a different topic. Let's move on to the next idea that I read. Familiar discomfort feels the same as comfort. That's kind of what I was saying with like my situation right now. It's like where I'm currently at isn't really great, but I don't really want to get out of it because that means changing things up and doing something new. And I don't like trying something new when I don't know what I'm doing at all. We tend to get stuck in this familiar discomfort because, yes, it will be uncomfortable to get out of it because that's not what our brains are used to. We have these realities that we are used to and we don't want to leave them. This one. Most people don't change until not changing is the less comfortable option. And that's kind of the point that I'm getting to. It's kind of getting to this enough is enough kind of stage. But it's still scary and I still don't want to make the change because it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah. This kind of goes back to what I've talked about in one of my previous videos about how like life is relatively fluid and shaped by our day-to-day decisions. And that is scary for someone who places a lot of value on security. Knowing that life could just up and change drastically at any given point in time is kind of terrifying, but also can be exciting. And that's something that she brought out later in this essay, is that like the people who want things to be certain and comfortable all the time are gonna have a really hard time with life and not gonna enjoy themselves very much. But the people who are open to change and know that comfort is subjective are gonna be a lot happier because they're like, oh, okay, we're just shifting to a new normal, a new comfortable, and they'll be a lot more open to change and molding their lives around the different things that are happening and not freaking out because it's like, oh no, this is a threat to my comfort or my security. The people that are able to integrate changes as they come about and flow with the things that they can't control are a lot happier. But that is easier said than done. So what do I want to take away from this? If you are realizing, either on your own or after watching this video, that you might be stuck in a comfort cycle that is keeping you stuck somewhere that you really probably shouldn't be, if your comfort zone is surrounding things that are holding you back, then it might be really helpful to keep in mind that your comfort zone can change and can move. And ultimately it has to, because life does not stay the same and circumstances change all the time. And in order to really enjoy life, we ultimately have to be okay with change and being able to be molded and shaped and flow through our lives without being attached to what we think is comfortable or what we think should happen, because we rarely get our way.